Peace and blessings to all. Welcome, welcome. All right. We are in chapter 22 tonight. Genesis chapter 22. Uh Abram's name was just changed to Abraham, and we were to the point where Isaac was just born. And let's see, what else did we read? Oh, so the birth of Isaac. Hagar was cast out. God consoled Hagar, and a covenant was made with Abimelech. Now we are in chapter 22 where Isaac is about to be sacrificed, but we know how that story goes. It was a test for Abraham to see if he would obey God. And we know that Abraham told his son that God would provide the sacrifice. And I basically this was an overshadowing of how God would provide a sacrifice for all of us, and that sacrifice was Jesus. So I guess I do understand the well, it's probably because I heard it before, but I do understand what this part of the story is showing us. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, but let's get into the reading and have some fun, shall we? And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham. Huh? Anywho, and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thine only son, Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and saddled his ass, and took two of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up, and went unto the place of which God had told him. Then on the third day Abraham lifted up his eyes. Ah, third day. Didn't catch that before. And saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand, and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, here am I, my son. And he said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? Ah, see what I'm saying? The lamb. But where is the lamb for a burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went, both of them, together. And they came to the place which God had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes, and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in the thicket by his by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram, and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh, as it is said to this day, In the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, By myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. I messed that one up too. Seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. And it came to pass after these things, that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah, she hath also borne children unto thy brother Nahor. Huz his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Kemuel the father of Aram, and Chesed, and Hazo, and Pildash, and Jidlaph, and Bethuel. And Bethuel begot Rebekah. These 8 Milcah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother, and his concubine, whose name was Reumah. She bare also Tebah, and Gaham, and Thahash, and Maacah. And that is the end of the reading. So, if we gleaned anything from this, it is one, what we see from Abraham after God told him what to do: obedience. And because he was obedient, the Lord knew that Abraham feared him. And because of his obedience and his fear for the Lord, God blessed Abraham and multiplied his seed in the earth as the stars of heaven, and as the sea, or as the sand in the seashore. And also, and to be honest, we hear Abraham say that God would provide the lamb for the burnt offering, correct? So I do believe that is a, a, a foreshadowing of God providing the lamb for our sins, and the lamb is Jesus. So I hope we all learned something today, and God bless you all. Have a wonderful week. Um, and always remember to seek the Lord with everything you are and everything you do. And I need to do a better job at that too. So, farewell until tomorrow evening, and uh, I will be a little bit later tomorrow night because it's Bible study, and yeah, but I'll be here, Lord willing. The Lord willing, I will be here to do the next reading, which is chapter 23, and we will continue on day by day. All right. Peace to you all, and have a good night.